one thing that does bother me with his alt mode is these panels here. A couple of people have noted this too. I've seen on Facebook, people's asking, has anybody been able to get these things flush or, get them to sit properly? I can't. I struggle with this part of it. That's the best that I could get for the video. I gave up after 15 minutes of trying to flatten them out. Every time I do try to flatten them out, it kind of pops loose from, there's a tab right here for the centerpiece, or it causes this split to happen right here. All right, let's just take a quick look at the back, because we always like talking about the back of a figure, because, of course, this is the way that we're going to display it on our shelf. No, we are not. And there's exactly 14 screws that you can see in the back of this guy, but who cares? You're not displaying it this way. But it is a nice clean back. To be honest, I kind of joked to myself that his backpack is actually in the front. And like I talked about before, so you can swap the head, you actually need to remove the screw in the back of the head to do the head swap. You are going to need your trusty Phillips head screwdriver. This is a Phillips head number 1 from a jeweler's kit that I have. So you're simply going to take this screw out of the back of this head, and you'll see why in a minute. So I will tell you, the first time you go to do this, it is really, really difficult. You might also need some type of a spludger, right, with a fine point or flat end, just to get into the space between the front and the rear half of the head, just to get it to separate away. Keep an eye out. There, it happened. Keep an eye out on the faceplate. The faceplate actually separates from the front of the head and just goes in, which goes back to what I was talking about before as well, that you can actually swap this face out with that face and put this in that head. But it is an option. It is there if you want to do it. And again, options are good. Anyway, so once you've got the front separated away from the back, then of course you need to do the same thing with the actual one that's on the figure. So you're going to take the screw out of the back of this one. 2 screws are exactly the same, so it doesn't matter if you get them mixed up. And then the really fun part becomes, again, trying to separate. It's best to obviously turn the head sideways. Separate the head, the front half away from the back half, like that. And I'll just show you what it looks like, because like I said, it's not really a ball joint, right? It's 2 pegs on either side that rotate this piece actually. I'm just showing, right? It just sort of rotates around, and just so you can see, it's the 4 pegs go into 4 holes. This is the front half, right? The back half. So those four pegs go into those holes. I actually find it's a little easier to do this if you put the back on, then put the face up in the hole, and then put this on. If you try to put the front of the head and the face on at the same time, sometimes the face has a tendency to fall out and it gets in the way. So I find this is the easiest approach, is if you press the face on and then the front of the head on and squeeze it all together. And then, of course, put your screw back in the back. Don't over tighten. As soon as you feel some resistance, stop. Metal screws with plastic, you can strip them very easily. And there you go. Now you have the more toy accurate head sculpt on. One small issue I did find was, actually, 2 issues I found with the transformation. Something for you guys to keep in mind is and it's weird that this always seems to be like one half of the figure that has an issue. Like if you have an issue with a hand, it's only the left or the right hand and not both. Or if there's an issue with a foot or a knee, it's only the left one or the right one, and it's not both. Sheridan, we had one knee that broke off. Smokey, one hand, the thumb pops off when you're trying to put his gun into his hand. And with Spindrift, it is his left foot, that I found is it's his right foot. His right foot is the issue in two places. So this panel, which part of the transformation I'll just show very quickly, pops up, and then you need to see. I'm even having a problem with this guy. Okay, so you have to rotate it around and pull it forward. And this one is really stiff. There. Okay. So you'll see inside there's a pivot and a ball joint that this rotates on and pivots on. This screw that's right here is what holds it in place. On his right foot, that screw is over tightened. So when you go to rotate this out, the panel pops off, right? And you have to keep pressing it back onto the ball joint to get it back into place. So if you have a small jeweler style screwdriver, Phillips head, just back this off about half a turn, and it will give you that flexibility to move that panel around during the transformation, so you don't have it keep popping off like this. The other issue that I found with the transformation is this screw is loose. So after you do the transformation once or twice, and of course I do my transformations multiple times for the various videos that I do, but then this foot just becomes very floppy, so it just keeps hanging down like that. It's not doing it on this guy right now because I haven't transformed this one that much. I use this guy for the transformations, but his foot is loose. And I'll probably do a maintenance terminal video on this just to show how you can tighten this screw and keep it from coming loose every time that you maneuver the foot, because as part of your posing you might do the articulation and the screw does come loose, or if you do transformations from time to time it does come loose. But I'll most likely do a maintenance terminal video to show you how you can get it so the screw doesn't come loose, and put it on my other channel, Wheeljack's Workshop, so make sure that you check that out there if you're interested in that. Very, very cartoon accurate. In fact, to the point that initially when I looked at his alt mode, I kind of thought, man, there's a lot of lines going on here. Like, you got this line down the middle, and you got all the paneling and that and everything else. And then I looked closely, like a little more closely at his cartoon rendering. I was like, oh, all of those lines are in his cartoon rendering as well. They have the line down the middle. He's got, there's even an extra line in the plastic here because he's got a line here, and then lines that kind of make up the pontoons. So overall, again, if you're looking for that cartoon aesthetic, when you look at his cartoon rendering and then look at the alt mode again, you kind of go, oh, it all lines up. Sorry. One of the really nice features that I was super impressed with Fan Toys adding in, obviously Fan Toys is not allowed to throw on the Autobot or Decepticon logos on their figures for copyright infringement and legal reasons and that. However, they went ahead and, keeping in line with, trying to match the cartoon rendering, his Autobot logo would go right here on his chest, but in his alt mode, the Autobot logo is up here, and not back here. So this panel actually flips around. I'll just show you guys real quickly. It will only do it after the transformation because there are panels inside his chest that will hinder the rotation of the panel. So only do this after you have it transformed. But it's a typical Fan Toys, panel rotation. You just push on one side, pull on the other, and it will rotate around so that you could put your Autobot logo on here if you want, and you still have the ability to hide it in his alt mode. Now, what is going around all over the internet right now, of course, is the fact that there's an undocumented additional weapon storage underneath. And I will give a shout out to user @Jared on Reddit, because I think that's where it got posted first, even though there were some other people that posted it on Facebook. But apparently, if you look underneath, there is, I don't know if you can see this or not. Let's see if we can get some decent lighting. Anyway, there's a tab slot that's here and here. Oddly enough, the pistol, you can see by the shape underneath here that it looks like the pistol would fit into this space, and it does. You do have to open up this panel under the foot. As part of the transformation, makes it easier to get in there. But the tab that's on the side of the gun, on either side of the gun here, actually fits into this tab hole that's here. However, I'm going to call it undocumented or not meant to be because the slot that's on the pistol is much smaller than the slot hole. But it does work because the handle fits down into this opening here and the barrel fits up into this space here, and it looks like this. And the other part of this is that it's not as easy as you want it to be. But it does fit in there like that, and then you can close this panel back up. Right, and that's what one of them looks like. So you could store the weapons in underneath if you wanted to put them somewhere when he's in alt mode. Again, options are good. So here's one more option. So one of the more disappointing features that I thought was actually missing from the Spindrift, and the real reason why you're all here today, is, does he float? Well, let's find out. No! Bastard! No, he does not. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. Why, what was I thinking? Why? Why? Now the transformation is, it's nice, it's easy, it's intuitive, nothing difficult about it whatsoever. The final step of his transformation is a little frustrating because you get everything in place, you get everything lined up, you think everything is where it's supposed to be, and then you realize that there's gapping all over the place. And you literally have to sort of massage him together, get everything to click into place. So that's the most frustrating part about his transformation, is it seems like everything should line up and it doesn't quite line up, and you just have to work at it, play with it, be patient with it. Everything does line up and fall into place, and you just kind of got to keep, doing one of these, press it all together like that, and it will eventually fall into place and look like that. That's it, everybody. If you've made it this far and you've enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit that like button down below. Sure helps out a lot. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And please check the links in the description. If you'd like to support my channel, there's a link in there for buymeacoffee.com that you can use to support the channel. Once again, thanks a lot. This has been Transformers Masterpiece Theater. I'm the Rusty Mechanic. And before everybody on the internet freaks out, don't worry, Spindrift is fine. All the metal parts in the Fan Toys figures are die-cast. Die-cast is a zinc aluminum alloy, which does not corrode, does not oxidize, does not rust. So I took a towel to him, I took a hairdryer to him, he's perfectly fine.